Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, March 14. If you're watching live on Monday, March 14, we encourage you to call in. If you have comments or questions, our call-in number is 769-1677. Our next work session is a week from today on Monday, March 21 at 7 p.m. And our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from today, Monday, March 28 at 8 p.m. with a work session at 7. Again, all here at 80 Wheeler Avenue. We have a bunch of announcements and resolutions tonight, but the most important piece of our business tonight is the swearing in of a new police officer. More on that from Lieutenant Eric Brutzner, who will introduce our new officer.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Scheer, Village Trustees, Village Administrator Dwyer, members of the Pleasantville Police Department, and family and friends of the Pleasantville community. Normally, if you watch these proceedings on a regular basis, Chief Love would be up here introducing our newest officer. However, tonight he was gracious enough to give me the honor of introducing him to the Pleasantville community at large. Excuse me. But before we get to that, I just wanted to take 1 minute to recognize one of our officers who was recently promoted to detective. Sean Lyon grew up in Pleasantville. He has been a police officer here since 2002. From the very beginning, Sean was always a very active officer. He was had many different roles that he fulfilled for us. He was one of our bicycle officers. He's on the motorcycle unit. Most recently, he was our CPOP, our community policing officer. And so back in January, the chief decided to create a temporary assignment in the detective division for Sean, and he's done an excellent job there. We've really seen his energy and his passion for the job and his knowledge that he's brought to the position. And so just this past week, that temporary position became a permanent one. And so I just wanted to take a quick minute to recognize Sean. He's actually currently working on a case as we speak, so he cannot be here, but I just wanted to make sure that I took the opportunity to recognize his efforts and to congratulate him tonight. So for our new hire's name is Pat Leone. And I just wanted to give a little bit of background on how Pat came here to be an officer here in Pleasantville. Sometime before Pat was considered for the position, myself and the other Lieutenant Jesse Wallman, had the opportunity to meet Pat and to speak with him. He carried himself exceptionally well, and although we weren't in the process of hiring, and that wasn't really why we were meeting him, we both were struck by his demeanor. And so we both knew that if the time ever came to hire someone in the future, that he would be the type of person that we would be looking to hire. We were both really struck by him and thought he might be a good fit. Positions in police departments like these obviously are rare commodities, and they're very sought after. So once the process began for us to look into Pat's background and find out a little bit more about him, we knew that we needed to vet him thoroughly. So we went through a very long and thorough process. We spoke to friends, family members, people who had worked with him in the past, and across the board, we got nothing but glowing reviews about Pat coming, the job he would do for us, and how well he would fit in, not only in this department, but in this community. So among some other things, Pat has given up seniority, vacation time, and a special detail on an emergency services truck to come here. So by him doing that, I know that Pat feels lucky to have this opportunity, but I can also say from the work we have done in finding out about Pat, the residents of this community can know that we're lucky to have him just as he's lucky to be here. So if at this point, Mr. Mayor. Jesse.
Patsy, if you come on up and we'll swear you in. If you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Patsy Leone,
I, Patsy Leone,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Code of the Village of Pleasantville,
the Code of the Village of Pleasantville,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duties of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir. We're delighted to have you. Thank you so much. Glad to have you part of the family.
You gotta sign the book.
So with that, we'll go a little bit out of order in order to make this fully official. Trustee Lord, could we have resolution number 33?
Sure. Resolved that the Board of Trustees, based upon the recommendation of the police chief, hereby appoints Patsy Leone as police officer, 3rd grade, effective March 14th, 2016, at a salary of $72,517.75. Said appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 52 weeks to a maximum of 78 weeks.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Welcome, sir.
Welcome aboard.
So it gets less exciting from here on in, so we
That's
won't,
Take
we
it
won't
on.
feel in any way offended if you all depart. So we look forward to having you as a member of our team.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric. Thanks.
Good night, guys.
So thank you all.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
all of you. Bye-bye now.
So
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night,
likewise.
thanks.
Coming back to our regular agenda, we had a number of announcements to make.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
The first is that a week ago, we had a work session public presentation here in this room with the folks from the Department of Transportation and also their contractor, Echo 3 Enterprises. As many of you may have already heard, there is a substantial reconstruction project on 2 bridges on the Sawmill Parkway. They're the bridges that hold up the parkway under the 2 big stone bridges in Pleasantville. The stone bridges are unaffected. It is actually the roadway that sits on a bridge that is going to be rebuilt. It involves some substantial detours as well as some traffic pattern changes that are going to occur starting in the month of April and changing again this summer. So all of the information about that is up on the website, am I right, Patty, at pleasantville-ny.gov. Most of you, in fact, hopefully all of you, will have received in your mail a postcard that looks like this, which was sent out by the New York State DOT, and that provides a summary of what's going on, and it also gives you both a phone number to call for the New York State DOT office, and I'll just let you know that that number is 914-666-2702. Reminds you that you can always call 511 or visit 511ny.org, and that will give you current roadway conditions. And if you are interested in more information on the project, then you're probably best off getting this off our website, but I'll repeat it anyway. More information on this specific project is available at dot.ny.gov/projects. Once you get there, you have to search an ID number, which is 8BOW.0H. So that'll be hard to remember, but it's all on the postcard you got. Look for it in your mail and also at pleasantville-ny.gov. We are cautiously optimistic that the nighttime detours, which will close the Sawmill Parkway completely and detour people along Grand Street and Marble Avenue, will occur at off-hour points in the day when it won't be too substantial a problem. But there's no doubt that there will be some traffic pain as well as some impact in terms of noise and activity with nighttime work for neighbors. So a necessary period of darkness before light. I think all of us are in agreement that the project is necessary, but just want to remind everybody that it's out there, and it serves everybody's purpose to be aware of what might be going on. Also wanted to report what some of you may have already seen in the news, which is that the long-standing litigation associated with the Dan Roy Henry case, which was the shooting that occurred at the Thornwood Town Center back in the year 2010, was settled today with the Village of Pleasantville, and I'll read the statement that we issued today. The Village of Pleasantville has been informed by its counsel that the Henry family has agreed to settle their case against the village. This settlement resolves the case against Pleasantville and all village defendants. We appreciate the efforts of everyone involved to bring closure to this tragic story. Related litigation is ongoing, and consequently no further public comment will be made at this time. So you will be hearing more about that, I'm sure, in the press. And as reported in that statement, we're not in a position to say very much other than to say we certainly are pleased to close this chapter, and also pleased to report that the settlement is within our insurance limits and therefore will not have an effect on the taxpayer. So in a circumstance where there's very little to be happy about, we can take some satisfaction in moving on. Pleasantville was designated as a 2015 Tree City USA. The Division of Land and Forests of the New York State Department of Conservation reported that we are, as we have been virtually every year, identified as a tree city, which reflects our ongoing care of our tree canopy. That will be a matter for further discussion as we work through our budget, as we talk about how much investment we can make in improving our own tree canopy, but also encouraging residents to improve the tree canopy on their own property. So good news to receive that again, and also have been asked to issue a proclamation for Building Safety Month, which may sound like another motherhood and apple pie kind of a thing, which of course it is, and yet it certainly is not a bad thing to point out that this Building Safety Month, which is a national enterprise organized by the International Code Council, is partly an effort to remind everybody that an awful lot of work that people get done in their house requires a building permit. That building permit is not primarily about us snooping in what you're doing. It's about making sure that what you do in your house is safe and code compliant, not only protecting you while you live there, but as I can report from many incidents homeowners have had when they try to sell, it also protects you against the difficulty of having improvements made in your home that don't have proper permits and proper CFOs. So we're out there to help. We have a great building department that is out there to make this easier for everyone and not harder. And Building Safety Month, which is the month of May 2016, is a good opportunity to remind everybody of that. Did anybody else have other announcements to make?
I have two. Pleasantville Strong has a meeting this Wednesday in the high school at 7 p.m. And just a reminder that Pleasantville Cares, which is the new family support group for anyone who has a loved one with an addiction issue, are every Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. at the United Methodist Church. Anyone's welcome to drop in.
Okay, thank you for that. Anybody else? No. So I just wanted to report that one of the things we discussed in our work session is our anticipated acceptance of a proposal from BFJ Planning, which is a planning firm based in New York City that we have worked with on several other projects in the past, for a master plan update. Our existing master plan dates back to 1995, and we have gone through a process of identifying the sections of it that we feel we need to update, not only because the old document is out of date, but also because we find ourselves having both inquiries from potential developers as well as opportunities of our own to think about ways in which we might tee up the kind of development that we feel is appropriate to Pleasantville. So that's going to be a participatory process. The proposal that BFJ has given us includes several public workshops as well as several public presentations, and we'll be encouraging involvement by anyone who wants to participate, certainly to attend all that and watch as we think about some things that are just tidying up some of our zoning code, but some other things which fall into the category of big picture thinking to rethink how the downtown might work. One of the things that's very much on our mind and which we feel as though there's some opportunities to make some real progress on, is the whole area around Memorial Plaza and in the area on the post office side of Memorial Plaza, where there's quite a bit of development interest, as well as quite a bit of opportunity, but we don't really have the planning and zoning infrastructure in place to make that happen in a manner that both works for the economics of potential developers and also works for the Village of Pleasantville. So you'll hear much more on that in the next few months as we kick that project off. BFJ has given us an approximate schedule that suggests it'll take 8 or 9 months to complete. So we anticipate starting within the next couple of weeks and probably finishing it up early next year. So more on that as it evolves. And then the last thing I wanted to mention in the category of happy progress is we have before us tonight the first submittals from the Public Restroom Company, which is the company that won the bid to provide a modular restroom building at Parkway Field. So for the first time in captivity, we're actually going to have real live indoor plumbing at Parkway Field. A consummation devoutly to be wished, and we're rolling. So, Patty, I don't want to be too optimistic in when the first flush will happen, but
It's yours, though.
well, I
It'll be
appreciate
yours.
that opportunity. Is it realistic to think that we'll be operational by late spring, early summer?
By early summer.
Right, she's hedging a little, so, which I respect. So, all right, at any rate, good news, progress is on the way. With that, Colleen,
34.
number 34.
Resolve the pre-check register dated March 14, 2016, covering check numbers 82436 and 82735, and 2617 through 2673, and 82737 through 82893, have been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below. Coming from the General Fund, the Special Purpose Fund, the Water Fund, the Capital Fund, the Refuse Fund, the Pool Fund, and the Trust and Agency Fund, totaling $218,404.03.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions on the check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Joe, 35.
35. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the following donation from the Gambino family, from Lorraine Golan, $500 for planters, and from the Gambino family, $50 to the Clinton Street Senior Center programs.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you to both these donors. Very much appreciated. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Steve, 36.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign an agreement with Aquatic Renovation Systems Incorporated, 2825 East 55th Place, Indianapolis, Indiana, for the installation of a kiddie pool liner as per the terms set forth in the agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Patty, I think it's self-explanatory. Anything further to add to this?
No, our consultant on the project, Maurice Rangel, has vetted the specifications and the scope of work, and we are looking forward to moving on this within the next several weeks. So,
Should we put the amount in the
Yeah, I was
resolution?
thinking,
Yeah.
23,240.
Yeah, I think that should be
Yeah.
included.
Into the resolution.
$23,245.
23,245, yeah.
Is that acceptable to the mover and seconder?
Yes.
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 Got that, Judy?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved. 37, Steve.
No, Steve just read.
Sorry, Colleen.
I'm just getting to it. Okay. Resolve that the Board of Trustees, based upon the recommendation of the Coordinator of Senior Citizen Services, hereby appoints George Dolce to the position of part-time bus driver at a salary of $19 per hour. Said position may not exceed 17 and a half hours per week.
Is there a second?
Second.
I personally can vouch for George as a great asset to whatever he does.
Right.
All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. 38. Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees, based upon the recommendation of the Coordinator of Senior Citizen Services, hereby appoints Mary Sheehan as a part-time recreation attendant at a salary of $14 per hour. Said position may not exceed 17 and a half hours per week.
Is there a second? Patty.
Second.
Second.
Sorry.
This is a
Excuse me.
funded position?
yes,
Good.
Lori Garcia was in this position for quite some time, but she's vacated the position.
Okay. Well, Mary Sheehan is admirably well qualified
She sure
based
is.
on her resume. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 39.
39, me. Choking trustee. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves Samantha Andriaki, right?
Yep.
Andriaki.
Andriaki. Yep.
Andriaki for an unpaid internship with the village court office for the 2016 summer season.
Is there a second?
Second.
Happy to have that assistance and to offer that
She's
training
a-
opportunity.
Is she still a high school student, or
She's
she graduated
graduating.
last year?
No, she's graduating this year.
Graduating now. She's a senior now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know her well, but it seems like an awfully nice kid, and
Yeah.
glad that she's doing something like this.
All in
Her mom was
favor?
in this, too.
Aye. Motion approved.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby reserves the use of 7 on-street metered parking spaces on the east side of Memorial Plaza and all parking spaces within the Memorial Plaza parking lot north of the gazebo on both sides for farmers market activities. Parking restrictions will be instituted in said spaces on each Saturday from April 2, 2016 through December 3, 2016, between the hours of 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. And further resolved that the Chief of Police is hereby authorized to post no parking signs and to tow any vehicle that violates these temporary parking regulations.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, important point to make, and that is that the farm market is moving outside from its middle school winter location earlier than it did last year. So it will be back in Memorial Plaza on April 2. I think last year it didn't move back up till May.
Right.
They've been going, in past
right.
years, they've been going the week after Pleasantville Day.
Right.
But for reasons having to do with weather as much as accommodating the school because they need more parking space because kids are already out on the field, it worked out well for the farmers market to come outside a couple weeks earlier this year. So
All right.
that's why.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 41 minutes.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, February 2016, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or corrections on the minutes? Just want to point out that those minutes indicated that Sustainable Westchester had sent out requests for proposals for the Community Choice Aggregation Program, which is the energy program that we have talked quite a bit about here over the last some months. And I can report that they received those bids and are finalizing a contract with a supplier. And all of you who are currently residents who have remained with the default supplier, Con Edison, will get letters reporting that you'll be enrolled in this new program unless you choose to opt out. You'll get a clear letter indicating the terms and conditions, as well as an opportunity to opt out if you're so inclined. But the preliminary indication we have is that the contract, which will be held for a 2-year period, would have represented a savings of about 8% on the supply portion of your electricity as compared to what we all paid over the past 12 months. So optimistic that that will be a good program, and you'll hear more about that quite soon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. And then we had one additional, number 42.
Okay. So this is resolved. This is related to just general year-end budget moves back and forth to clean up accounts. So I won't read every line item here, but I'll lump them into various groups. So budget transfers, typically smaller amounts from accounts such as administration part-time, general fund contingencies, park supplies, meter transmissions, and refuse fund contingencies. The total there is $99,305. From our fund balance account to a special purpose fund for a transfer to capital for parks facilities project and transfer to capital for pool renovation project. That's a total of $260,000. And then we're increasing revenue and expenses in the capital fund to adjust various expenditures as well. That's an interfund transfer. The total there is $260,000. So I hope that was clear. I mean, I can read them all if we need
No,
to, but I don't
just
think
say as stated in the record.
yeah, as stated in the record, and this will be entered into the record. Everybody can see it's quite a detailed spreadsheet, which is always the way you want them, but so that is the motion. Again, so I just summarize that again. So budget transfers of $99,305, fund balance transfer to special purpose funds $260,000, increasing revenue and expenses over to the capital fund $260,000.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions on these transfers? A lot of them are the kinds of transfers that we see a lot of at this time of year as the fiscal year is approaching its end, May, or at the end of May. And the transfer to capital for the special purpose fund is for the aforementioned bathroom project.
Oh, yeah, I should
Yes,
have.
and the pool liner.
And you said that so much better. than
It appears, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the $260,000 increase in revenue are the fees that we've received. They were not budgeted for this year, but we received them, so they go in, and then we're spending them on the things we said we would, which is the bathroom at the park,
Well, they're
and also
coming-
the pool.
Yes, correct. They're coming from the toll proceeds from the Parkland Recreation Fund, the Special Purpose Fund. So we
Right.
do have the revenue. We need now to transfer it into capital accounts so we can spend it toward these
And
projects.
revenue for the parks purposes and being
Yes.
used for parks purposes.
Yes.
Understood.
But we take it from the incoming account to the outgoing
Correct.
account.
All right, did we have a second on that? We did.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. That's the last of our regular agenda items. Is there a motion to go into executive session on a proposed contract for recreation programs and advice of counsel regarding retirement system matters?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. We'll be going into executive session. I thank you all for your attention, and congratulations to Patsy Leone, who you will soon see wearing the uniform of a Pleasantville police officer. Thank you all. Good night. See you in 2 weeks.